new way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
Electricity.
Very good.
Constitution.
That's it.
Philadelphia.
Smart. Good.
Fish?
Yeah.
Pony?
Yes.
Hip? Hip hop? Hip hop Anonymous? Damn you! You get him the easy ones!
Hey, I'm just checking in. Y'all still voting for Kamala after this? How you gonna be the president of the United States and you need a man babysitting you on TV? You supposed to be a strong woman. I'm strong and independent, and you gotta have a dude on the show with you to protect you. That's what it looked like to me. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this has now become one of the most popular shirts that we made. Again, I told you guys, and don't get mad at me, don't judge me. I didn't understand the reference, but my people, my staff got it figured out. That's why it's good to have diversity, okay? Because if everybody here was black, we would never have picked this one. But since we got some people that are diverse, they know what to pick because they know what some of y'all like, all right? But this is a good shirt, great design. We also have it in red, white, and blue as well. So in case you want a red, white, and blue version of this, we have it available on the store. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this. Now, I can say in all honesty, I did not watch the full interview. I didn't want to waste my time or my life watching this interview. My son had a scrimmage. I'd rather watch my son do a scrimmage than watch this interview. And I know it was probably terrible. So I made you guys a highlight tape of everything that she said, and we're going to go point by point in the things that she said, and I want you to pay attention to a few things that are very crucial, very important, and should be telltale signs. A person who's confident don't act like this. Watch her body language. Watch her eye position. When important questions are asked of her, watch how she responds. If you're the president of the United States of America, the person asks you directly, what are you going to do on day one? You should be able to look that person in the eye and give an articulable response. One with confidence and clarity. Just watch this. And for everybody out here that's getting excitable and feeling like, you know, Kamala Harris may be in the lead, I would argue that most people are looking at this and saying, oh, just like they said about Joe Biden, oh, something ain't right here. Oh, ain't no way she can lead the country. Ain't no way. She does not represent strength whatsoever. This little frail, giggling, cackling hyena is literally can't do an interview by herself, so you have to bring a man. For all you feminists out there, women power, the first female president, she can't even do an interview. She need a man to be with her to finish this interview with another woman. Roll the clip.
President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history.
Which is completely a lie. I hate when they use this. This is a lie. This woman made her case to the American people while she was vice president. She campaigned with Joe Biden. They won the campaign. She's been campaigning with Joe Biden on his second run until they kicked him out. So this woman has had all this time to present policy, and as an incumbent, she is already campaigning to the American people what the administration will look like under her leadership. So don't give me that, oh, because they decide to switch out candidates at the 11th hour, that somehow she don't have time to articulate to the public what she's made of. Her track record is what she made of.
The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. I think that people are ready for a new way forward.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
She couldn't look the woman in the eye. She's searching for her words by looking down. She's reaching for thoughts by looking up. Like, I don't understand how this yields any kind of confidence that this woman can lead the country. She already had to show up with a sidekick, and then she can't look the woman in the eye and say, on day one, this is what I'm going to do for the American people. I'm confident in this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to open this up. Here is things that I'm going to do. On my website, here are my 5-point plan, because we don't have enough time to talk about it in the interview. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continue with what we did in our administration, or I'm going to change it. She needs to be able to say that very confidently into the camera. How she can't do that is insane to me.
You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. Yeah. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it, which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging, what we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years, what we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home.
The steps that you're talking about now.
A tax credit. As you notice, she originally said they're going to give you $25,000. The government is going to give you $25,000. Now it's a tax credit. So that means you'll get up to $25,000 tax-free in spending it. I'm assuming that's what she's saying. That means that you have to kind of have the money to spend up front to even have that as a tax credit. That means you have to have $25,000 in your bank account to put down on a house, and they give you a credit for that spend. The thing with down payments and other things, some people just don't have it. So if you don't have the money to start with, what are they doing for you? They originally said they're going to give you the money. So therefore, it'll really help you buy a house, because if you ain't got $25,000 in the bank, you can still kind of get a house. But now they're saying you have to have $25,000 anyway, and we'll give you a credit on it. They switcherooing it on you, and people don't know the difference.
Why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that.
One other question about something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally. And there should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race, I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws.
I want to ask.
Hold on, I ain't gonna let her get away with that. She got on television and said illegals coming into this country are not criminals. So what laws are you saying that you enforced? Because last time I checked, if you don't come through the port of entry and you sneak into our country, you are illegally in our country, which is against the law. If y'all don't like it, just change the law. Don't not enforce a law that's on the books. And then you got her saying that she's gonna, ma'am, you got on television and said that illegals are not criminals. But now you're trying to say you're gonna enforce laws that are on the books. Make your mind up.
You a question about how you've described your service in the National Guard. You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do.
The idea that you said that you were in war.
Yeah.
Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting, the ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct.
Do you still want?
Never owned up to it. Never said he stole valor. That's what he did. He got caught. And that's the only reason why he's trying to pivot. But these people can't come out and say, I was wrong. I misspoke intentionally. I don't know. I was trying to make my resume look a little better than what it was, or I was speaking very quickly and I mentioned something. But if you know, like if I've served in the military, like even as a police officer, nobody's going to catch me on the mic talking about I was a point man on a SWAT team. I was a team leader. Nobody's going to ever catch me saying that I was on the entry team when I was on SWAT. You ain't never going to catch me embellishing my SWAT career. Why? Because it's disrespectful not only to me, to the reputation of the SWAT team, and to all the operators that were on the Tucson SWAT team. I ain't going to lie and embellish that. You ain't going to never catch me on the mic talking about I misspoke about my SWAT experience. I always make sure I say when I was on the SWAT team for about a year and I was a rookie. And rookies don't get on the point team or, on the entry team. You're not team leader. You don't get to do nothing. Well, I thought it was still cool because we had to drive and throw the flashbang is all I was able to do. That's still fun. We did all the training. But I'm not going to misspeak on that because I never did it. And I'm honest and conscious enough to respect my team members. I'm not finna lie and embellish that when they worked hard to get to that point.
To ban fracking.
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020 that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will.
Why can't the woman say, in 2019, this is where I stood? I changed my mind in 2020. After getting more information and becoming more aware of how fracking works, me and Joe Biden decided they weren't going to ban it. Before, I thought it was a good idea, but after getting information, I realized it wasn't a good idea. She diverted. She never explained why she said it verbatim in 2019, and all of a sudden in 2020, she changed. She never explained how that transition happened. There's a big difference between banning fracking and not banning fracking.
Going forward.
The fact check bottom line, Abby, is that she did not actually make clear at a 2020 debate that she had changed her previous support for a fracking ban. So let me take you through this kind of saga. So here's what she said at a CNN climate town hall in 2019 on the subject of a fracking ban.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So, yes.
That was quite clear. So she ended her 2020 presidential run in December 2019. The only debate she participated in 2020 was the general election debate with then Vice President Mike Pence. And I went over the transcript of that debate tonight. Nowhere in there does she make clear that she had abandoned her previous support for a fracking ban. Rather, she repeated that Joe Biden, the head of the Democratic ticket at the time, would himself not ban fracking. So listen to what she actually said in that 2020 debate.
Joe Biden will not end fracking. He has been very clear about that. I will repeat, and the American people know, that Joe Biden will not ban fracking.
So it makes perfect sense that at the time she was speaking on behalf of Biden, the president, not the vice president, sets administration policy. But maybe other people feel differently. I certainly did not hear anywhere in there Kamala Harris saying that she personally had abandoned her previously expressed 2019 view. Rather, again, she was speaking for Joe Biden.
Another issue, big one, is immigration. As vice president, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
northern part of Central America.
The northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border. And because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock, and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl what passing that bill would have done to address their concern and a pain that they've experienced.
So you would push that legislation again. I just want to
Not
ask
only
about,
push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
when he called you and said he was pulling out of the race, what was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was a Sunday, so here, I'll give you a little too much information.
Go for it. There's no such thing, Madam Vice President.
My family was staying with us.
See, let me tell y'all a tactic, and you're gonna see her use a tactic. When you don't have the truth in your side, you embellish. When you're caught on the spot in an act of embellishing, you create these stories to buy you time to think through a scenario. This woman know god dog well that when she just simply asks you about the endorsement of Joe Biden and him dropping out of the race, it's a very simple conversation. He called me. I was with my family. He gave me a call. I answered the call, and he said whatever he said, and I was shocked at whatever the case may be. I was having lunch with my kids over. We were playing a board game. It was the thermostat was set at 78 degrees. I think the wind was blowing at a 45-degree angle from an obtuse triangle, a wind gust at 25 knots. I mean, what are you talking about? This has nothing to do with the question she asked you. But when you don't have an answer, you're going to lie. You got to buy time to embellish.
For it. There's no such thing, Madam Vice President.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces. And we had just had pancakes and, Auntie, can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then we were sitting down to do a puzzle. And the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And
have you ever been in that situation where you talking with somebody and y'all it's like three people talking, or you with your friend and they telling a story, and then they turn and look at you and they think something funny and you have no idea what they're talking about and you don't think it's funny, and all you can do is look at them and you're like, this is exactly what
we were sitting down to do a puzzle.
Look at him. Okay. Where's this going?
And the phone rang, and it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, "Are you sure?" And he said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
He was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, I'm pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you.
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you. My first thought was about him, to be honest. I think history is going to show a number of things about Joe Biden's presidency. I think history is going to show that in so many ways it was transformative, be it on what we have accomplished around finally investing in America's infrastructure, investing in new economies, in new industries, what we have done to bring our allies back together and have confidence in who we are as America and grow that alliance, what we have done to stand true to our principles, including the one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. And I think history is going to show not only has Joe Biden led an administration that has achieved those extraordinary successes, but the character of the man is one that he has been in his life and career, including as a president, quite selfless and puts the American people first. New way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
A decade ago, Democrats have run majority of the decade. She's trying to do a math to go back to try to act like it's Donald Trump's era. But like 12 out of the last 16 years have been Democrat controlled. Majority of the last decade has been Democrat run. You know, I just, you know, this woman is disingenuous. If Joe Biden had such an incredible presidency and he's done all these transformative things, then why is he not running for president? Why is he not running for president again if he did so many incredible things? We know if Biden would have dropped out before the debate, then I'd have a little more respect for him. He only dropped out because he took a poo. And everybody could see that, oh, shoot, he bad. Donald Trump is finna. He can't even think. He's too bad and old and he can't function. That's why he dropped out. And they want us to believe that that wasn't what happened? You know, in this interview, she asked her, well, Joe Biden, why didn't you say something earlier when you know his health was diminishing? And what did she say? Oh, well, no, I didn't. She doubled down on it.
Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all. I have served with President Biden for almost 4 years now, and I'll tell you, it's one of the greatest honors of my career, truly. He cares so deeply about the American people. He has the intelligence, the commitment, and the judgment and disposition that I think the American people rightly deserve in their president. By contrast, the former president has none of that.
Now, how people vote for Kamala Harris is beyond me. She has no substance. She's not bold. She don't have courage. She can't do a sit-down interview live. She had to do a taped, recorded interview with Tim Walz in it. And you can't tell me that they didn't cut out moments that it may have made her look bad. And you see the way Dana Bash is asking questions. J.D. Vance didn't get that same level of respect. You can see when Dana Bash is asking questions, she's kind of like, hey, Madam Vice President, she's smiling at her. Yes, she pushed back on her, but she didn't follow up with pushback, right? Joe Biden did this, but no, but Joe Biden, listen, Joe Biden, she argued with J.D. Vance over an opinion that she had. She let Kamala go off the rails and say whatever she wanted, and she kind of like asked her a follow-up question, but she didn't push back. I hope that the American people will see that this woman is not qualified. And it's not just because she's a Democrat. You know, I just think, to be honest, they had better qualified people than her. And them picking her is a bad move for them. Good for us. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.